Most people think morning is just the beginning of another day, but it's far more powerful than that. The early morning is the foundation where the blueprint of your entire life is laid. It's not about checking off tasks or rushing out the door. It's about identity. The way you wake up, your first thoughts, movements, and choices sets the tone for everything that follows. Successful people don't stumble into the day by chance. They craft their mornings with intention. In those first few quiet minutes, you either take control or surrender it. And the difference between those who drift and those who lead is often found in the small, silent habits they practice before the world wakes up. Morning isn't just time, it's a mirror. It reflects whether you're building your life with clarity and discipline or simply reacting to the noise around you. The day doesn't shape you, you shape the day. There are two kinds of people each morning, those who react and those who lead. The reactive are controlled by their alarms, their inboxes, the news, and everyone else's demands. They wake up already overwhelmed, pulled into the day without direction. They don't enter the morning, they get dragged into it. But the leaders, the proactive ones, rise with intention. They don't wait for permission to begin. They claim their time before the world makes its demands. Their mornings are not chaotic. They are calm, focused, and quiet. In that stillness, they build clarity, discipline, and inner strength. This small daily difference compounds. Over time, the reactive burn out, while the proactive rise. If you want to change your life, start by reclaiming your mornings. Stop letting the day happen to you. Instead, step into it with ownership. Because how you enter the day is how you'll move through it, and ultimately, how you'll build your life. The moment you wake up, your mind searches for comfort. But that's exactly when you need to lean into discomfort. Doing one difficult thing first thing in the morning isn't about punishing yourself. It's about reclaiming control. Whether it's splashing cold water on your face, stepping outside for a brisk walk, or finally tackling the task you've been avoiding. That single act sends a powerful message to your subconscious. I lead, I don't avoid. Most people begin their day by seeking ease, checking their phones, hitting snooze, drifting, but ease only creates stagnation. Discipline, on the other hand, sharpens your identity, and when you start the day by conquering resistance, everything else becomes easier. You don't need to do something massive, just something meaningful. One bold act in the morning rewires your mindset and shrinks procrastination. The gap between intention and execution closes. You begin not just reacting to the day, you begin shaping it with... Morning writing isn't about being poetic or perfect. It's about being real. When you wake up, your mind is still untouched by the noise of the world. That's the perfect moment to sit down with a notebook and write. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. Just a few lines. Your thoughts, your worries, your hopes can reveal what's truly happening beneath the surface. Writing slows your mind, helping you make sense of the chaos inside. It turns feelings into clarity, confusion into direction. Over time, this simple habit builds emotional awareness and mental strength. It helps you spot patterns, define your goals, and better understand who you are becoming. Successful people don't write because they have extra time. They write to manage their time and thoughts with purpose. In just 3 minutes a day, writing becomes a form of self-leadership. Before the world shapes your identity, take time to reconnect with it. Gratitude is often misunderstood as a soft emotion or a nice idea, but in truth, it's a powerful strategy for mental clarity and strength. The way you begin your morning determines how you perceive everything that follows. If you start your day from a place of lack, thinking about what you don't have, what's missing, or what still needs to be achieved, you immediately step into a mindset of scarcity. But when you intentionally focus on what's already working, even the small things, a warm bed, a beating heart, a fresh cup of coffee, you shift into a mindset of sufficiency. That shift is more than emotional, it's neurological. It changes your energy, your choices, and your behavior throughout the day. Gratitude grounds you. It doesn't weaken ambition, it purifies it. You stop chasing success to fill a void and begin creating from a place of wholeness. Taking just 3 minutes each morning to write or say 3 specific things you're grateful for can rewire your mindset. It removes the pressure to prove and replaces it with the presence to contribute. People who live from gratitude radiate a different kind of strength. Not loud, not showy, but deeply rooted. They don't envy, they don't scramble. They move with calm power because they know what they already have. So before the world steals your attention, take a moment to return to what's real. Gratitude isn't a ritual, it's a foundation. And it's one of the simplest, most effective ways to begin your day with intention and inner peace. Most people wake up and dive straight into busyness. Emails, messages, to-do lists. But movement doesn't always equal progress. When everything feels urgent, nothing is truly important. That's why your morning must begin with clarity, not chaos. Before the world pulls you in 1,000 directions, choose one thing, just one, that truly matters. One task that aligns with your long-term goals. If completed, this single task would make your day feel purposeful, even successful. It could be writing 1 page of your book, finishing that important proposal, or making the call you've been putting off. The key is not volume, it's precision. Leaders don't chase noise, they protect focus. When you define your #1 goal each morning and act on it before distractions set in, you create momentum. And momentum builds confidence. That first intentional act becomes the anchor for everything else you do. It sets the tone that today is not about reacting. Today is about directing. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. You don't need a planner full of color-coded tasks. You need one decision, one moment of focus. Because when you start with clarity, you move through the rest of the day with purpose. Otherwise, you risk running fast in circles, exhausting yourself without progress. So before your feet hit the ground, ask yourself, what is the one thing I must do today to move forward? Then do it. Not later. Now. That is how high performers build their days, and ultimately, their lives. In today's noisy world, stillness has become rare. That's exactly why it's powerful. The first few minutes of the morning aren't just free time, they're sacred. Before emails, news, social media, or obligations invade your space, you have a precious window to meet yourself, honestly and quietly. Most people start their day reacting, reaching for their phones, jumping into work, absorbing everyone else's voice. But if you begin with stillness, no screens, no noise, just breath and presence, you reclaim your identity. You're not escaping the world, you're realigning with who you are underneath it all. Stillness is where real clarity lives. It's where your thoughts settle, your values emerge, and your next right move becomes visible. It's not about meditating for hours or following a strict ritual. Sometimes it's just sitting in silence, asking yourself a hard question, and being brave enough to hear the answer. That's where strength is built, not in loud victories, but in quiet moments when you choose reflection over reaction. 10 minutes of intentional stillness can anchor your entire day. It builds a center that outside chaos cannot shake. When you consistently return to this space, you no longer drift, you lead from within. Your energy becomes more focused, your presence becomes more powerful, and your decisions reflect not fear, but alignment. If you want to live with conviction, not confusion, start each morning in silence. Because stillness isn't weakness, it's self-mastery. It's where the noise stops and the real you begins to rise. The way you start your morning is more than a habit. It's a declaration of who you are becoming. In a world that constantly pulls you in every direction, the early morning is one of the last places where you still have full control. It's where your discipline, mindset, priorities, and identity are shaped. Instead of waking up reactive, rushing, checking your phone, or drowning in stress, choose to wake up intentional. Write down your thoughts, move your body, speak words of strength, and anchor your day in gratitude. These are not just self-help practices, they are psychological tools for building focus, resilience, and direction in a distracted world. Even 10 minutes of clarity in the morning can change the entire rhythm of your day. Over time, those small choices compound, and the person you once hoped to become begins showing up in how you live. For anyone 25 or older, juggling career, family, or personal goals, this truth matters. Success is not found in occasional big leaps, but in daily intentional steps. Begin with purpose, and everything else starts to follow. Don't just start your day. Own it.